This is how I launched an online game in under 24 hours. Who am I? My name is Yarrow. I am founder of software studio yarrow.dev. I've been coding for over 10 years and I've built 50 plus web applications. When I'm not coding, I am playing chess or piano. My company, yarrow.dev, is trusted by some of the biggest companies in the world and some upcoming VC and bootstrapped startups. We have a 100% customer satisfaction rate and 25 plus projects delivered. So you want to launch a top tier MVP that looks something like this, or this, or this, or this. And those we built, and we've also built dozens more. This case study is about geoclue.io. It's a game like Clue, but for geography. So you guess the country by asking AI up to 20 questions. A product we took from idea, 0 lines of code, to live web application with 1,000 plus games played in 24 hours. Yes, you read that right. And I'll run you through exactly how I did it. But before I do that, you probably want to make sure it's a legit product. You can check it out at geoclue.io. Now is a good time to do that. And then you can come back to the presentation. These are the functionalities I built in 24 hours. Beautiful responsive UI, custom retro design system, main game page, custom logic to work with GeoJSON country data, and render it as a list or an interactive map, which syncs together with the list when you click on a country on the map, an AI integration to answer questions about the country, a victory screen, a global leaderboard, a country leaderboard, instant search on the leaderboards, and the sharing functionality. Saving progress across sessions without login. So you set a name and that will save it within the person's browser, so they don't need to log in, but they can still appear on the leaderboard across sessions. Abuse prevention, logic, and UI. So it will rate limit how often you can retry and restart a game. DevOps setup plus CI and CD. Beautiful animations like these. And here is proof, 24 hours of commits. So you'll see the first day, the initial commit of the project, which is GeoClue, was 3 days ago. And then if I scroll back, you'll see all of the progresses 3 days ago. And the project was launched right here. And then 20 hours ago, I put in a bug fix for the map view. But the entire project was built within 24 hours. So curious about the process? Well, I documented it start to finish. So enjoy. We're going to create a prototype here in our internal software that we use at yarrow.dev, my software agency, for much larger projects, but we're going to use it for this small project as well, just so we have a clear idea of all of the functionality. And then we're going to dive in and build the actual game. All right, so we have the initial plan. So we're going to have a landing page that's going to take you to the game screen where you've got instructions and then a list of countries and a chat. And then you can drop down and search to guess the country itself. We have to fetch today's country, which is going to be generated on a cron schedule, and then use the local user's time zone to check what day it is. Then in terms of the actual game screen, we're going to have a map and a country list. So I'm not sure yet about the map. That'll depend on how quickly we can implement the map itself. And this is a good point about MVPs in general. So it's good to have a potential list of features and then know exactly which ones you can cut and still maintain basically the same output or the same outcome in terms of the actual functionality. So the map is basically a nice to have because it's going to make it convenient for users to highlight a specific part of the world and exclude it. Let's say one of the questions is like the hemisphere or the continent. You know, you want to be able to quickly highlight, drag and highlight, and exclude a whole part of the world. So that's kind of the reason for that one. Country list is a much more granular thing, especially with like the small countries. It's going to be useful for that. And we're going to have a list of all the countries, and those two things should be synced together. So it's going to, in my mind, is going to be a toggle between map view and list view. And you're going to see any of the excluded or included countries in both views, and they're going to be synced. And then we're going to have the separate chat window where you actually ask questions to ChatGPT to figure out where the country is. It's only going to be true and false, so nobody can, game the system basically and make ChatGPT output the actual country. So we're going to use Zod validation for that. There's a way to use that with ChatGPT so that it only outputs a specific type of response for a schema. So that's what we're going to use. After that, we've got the leaderboard, and that's just going to tell us who made the least number of guesses. So basically who's the winner for today, or so far at least. And then you can share to double your score. Again, this is a nice to have. We'll see how much time we have, but ideally we want to create this viral loop component to the game where if you get a score and you share it to somebody and then they play the game and complete it, then your initial score is updated. And we're going to use this. We're going to do this with a query parameter, which then sets a local storage item on the second player's browser, which then if they complete the game, it's going to check that local storage, and if any user ID or any player ID on there is on there, basically it's going to update the original score. So that's kind of how it's going to work. I think this is pretty much it. Very, very simple. Should be able to do this pretty quickly. And yeah, should be a pretty fun game to play, but we'll see. So let's jump to actually making this into a real thing. I've made a cool little design system here with all the types of different components and even more than we'll probably need for this. But yeah, it's like a little cute little brutalist style gaming kind of design system. So it looks like this. We've got some modals, we've got a cool little date picker, inputs, stuff like that. We've got a tooltip, drop downs, loading, spinner, and some cards. And we've got an internal system at Yarrow.dev, my software agency, where we can build these design systems really, really quickly based on the project. So if you have a specific theme or style in mind, we basically can get these done really, really fast. So if you want to learn more about that, or you have a project, you can book a call with me down below. And yeah, let's dive right in. We're going to customize some of the colors here, but I think we're pretty close in terms of what we want. So let me do that, and then I'll see you once the full color scheme is ready. Cool. So we've got a full color scheme now, and we're ready to jump in and start building the game. The colors are a little bit more palatable now, so they are a little bit more plain, but still fun with that little touch of retro kind of gaming style. And now I'm going to jump in and start building the game. Right here, it's only the component showcase I showed you earlier, but it is live. I've also connected it to the database, so we've got that working all together right now. And yeah, next step is we're going to figure out a schema, so for the database, kind of the structure of the data, and then we're going to use that to start building the actual UI. I have got the schema done right now, and I've scaled it back a bit, made it even simpler than what I initially thought for the basically MVP of the game. So it's very useful to create a working version first and then augment it and improve it. That way you have a lot more context on the actual functionality of the game and other additional information you won't know before you actually make it. So right now we have a very simple model. We've got a game, we've got the target country in ISO2 format, which is the correct answer to the game. We've got a list of questions that have been asked of the game. These questions are just the string that has been asked and the answer that the AI provided. Then we've got the score, which is the number of questions asked, whether the game was basically whether the user guessed correctly, whether the game is finished or it's still running, and that's it. And then timestamps of when they were created. The question we don't even need a created on. And yeah, that's everything. So we've got the database connected, we've got the schema. So now we're gonna jump and start actually making the game. All right, so it's coming to life. This is the landing page. It looks like this. So we've got some cool animations there. We've got like a quickly designed logo, and we've got some rules on how to play the game and a guide in general, cool little scoring system and some pro tips. And yeah, just everything works. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome in my opinion. It's also responsive. So if I look here, this is the mobile version. Looks like this, and fully responsive. And yeah, so next steps are making the game actually be a game, because right now I click and nothing happens. Of course, I haven't built the actual play page yet. I've also set up all the favicon stuff, which you can't see because it's cut out of the top of my screen, but set all of that up as well. And yeah, now I'm going to make the actual main logic of the game and the gameplay. All right, so we've got the basic functionality started. This is what the homepage looks like right now. And if I click, it's going to load and then send me into a new game. We've got this map view here with all the countries. And then I've made a list view as well, where we can select any countries that we want to exclude. And then we can also search for countries, and it's going to match them like this. So it's all pretty neat. And the list view and map view are synchronized. So you'll see if I click US here and then I look for United States, you'll see it's eliminated. And if I eliminate it, then it's going to be uneliminated here as well. So it's going to make it easy to basically have two different ways of selecting countries. Here we've got the place to ask a question. That doesn't do anything yet. Same here for the questions asked. And then the guess drop down, where you can guess any country, and it's conveniently doesn't include any countries that are excluded from here. So basically any country with an A right now will not appear. So it's going to make it a lot easier to guess, so you don't accidentally guess a country that's being excluded. And then, yeah, that's everything for now. So this doesn't do anything yet. And yeah, the map is kind of basic. It doesn't have zoom, so I have to kind of zoom my screen to view it, which is not ideal. So I'm going to try and make the map fit this size, and then have zoom as well, and then potentially have like a drag to select feature. And then it's going to tell you what countries you've selected, and you can, do things with that. So you can kind of exclude parts of the world very easily. That's kind of the idea for the next steps. And then, yeah, implement all of this stuff. But yeah, exciting stuff, and it's coming together. All right, lots of exciting progress. So we've got the domain geoclue.io. Everything is linked together. You won't be able to see my search bar, but you can type it in yourself and it's going to link you to the game. Then we have the map view is now fixed. It's got the full height and it looks a lot better. It's got all of the same functionality, but a lot better and more detail and stuff like that. So yeah, and everything still syncs, as you can see, between the two screens. I've implemented all of the game functionality. So right now we are playing a game. We'll be guessing. So we can make a guess here by selecting any country, and we can ask a question here, and we'll see the questions appear down here. So I can fast forward through this bit if it takes a while, but I'll just play a game and we'll see what happens. All right, so we found the correct answer. It was Mali. I got it with 8 questions, and you can see the questions I asked here, whether it's in the Northern Hemisphere, Europe, Asia, Africa. Is it on the west side of Africa? Does it speak Arabic? Is it landlocked? And I just guessed it first try there, so a little bit of luck. But you'll see we've got some cool animations here on the end screen. So if I refresh, it looks like this, and we've got the results. Right now, share doesn't do anything, and then we can click back and play another game. So all of it works. I'm going to add a couple little features here and there, and I'll keep you updated. But this is basically it. The game works. It's all kind of connected. So I've shown you the schema. It uses AI to answer the questions. So we've got some roots here and some of the validation I was telling you about earlier in terms of the specific output they can give. So it can't be manipulated to say anything that isn't true or false. Like basically they can't prompt the AI in any other way than the way that I've created it here with the target country. And yeah, all of it is working and looks pretty cool. So that was pretty quick for a cool little game. And I'll need to implement leaderboards. I'll need to implement adding your own name so you can be tracked on the leaderboard. All right, so today is the next morning, and I've tested this out yesterday with some friends. So I've now formatted the layout in a kind of better way. We've got a retry button here, which after 60 seconds of playing a game lets you, try it again, basically restart the game. I've also modified the map view so it looks much better now, and it's got all the names of the countries in English, which is nice. It all links together with the excluding countries. I've also added the continents here, so you can exclude a bunch of countries at a time like this. I also implemented a regex matching here, so let's say, is it Albania? And we test it out and see, and it can basically count that as a guess. So you'll see Albania will now be blanked out here. I guess I excluded Europe anyway, but yeah, we won't be able to guess it because we've already guessed it once, and we've got the regex here on the questions. Also, I made a leaderboard, so if I go back here, I've added way to view the leaderboard, which is with the times of completion, which is some of my friends that completed it very, very fast by basically just guessing. It loads the screen of the game once you click on it. So if I click on any of these, it will load up that screen that you just saw, and it will give you the rank for globally and the country rank as well for that specific country. And also all of the questions that they asked. For this one is just one, so we got very, very lucky there. And yeah, we've got all the different leaderboards here that we can switch to and load up and see what's going on. And then what else? I added this names as well for the leaderboard. So basically, you can change your name, and it will load it up on the leaderboard as well. So yeah. That's everything with the project. Really, really exciting stuff. Built this basically in one day. Yeah, really, really exciting and super cool project to build. Got to use a bit of UI skills here as well. So yeah, if you want me to build awesome software for you, then you can book a call in the description, and see you in the next one.